Hey guys, it's Marina here with UnBroken at the IQ Podcast Studios here in Coronado, California. I hope y'all had a great week. Um, I wanted to start this show off with talking about what I ended with last week and go into some other stuff. Obviously, one of my biggest concerns right now is living your life for the happiness of others, not being true to yourself and making sure that everybody is taken care of rather than yourself. So, just with a little recap from last week, I talked about some family dynamics that I had going on and what was happening. And I have to say, the next day, I literally had 400 plus responses, opinions, recommendations, advice from my viewers and my listeners, which was completely amazing. And I thank you all so much for them. I had both sides coming at me. I had the most objective sides, it was very intriguing to be able to associate with all of them and to understand the outside or the outside of what I was going through and what they saw as happening. Obviously, all of you had only heard the one side of what was happening. There are two sides to every story, as we all know, but the objectiveness was pretty amazing. It was, and I love you all so much for giving me your feedback, and I hope that my responses to all of you, which I did respond to everybody, did not leave a bad taste in your mouth for those of you that I may not have agreed with 100%. But in hindsight, you guys, I have to let you all know that I love my brother more than life. I love him dearly. He is my best friend. And right now we are going through a very, very, very hard time. And I've upset him and his wife and his wife's family, which that's fine. I can completely understand that. And obviously my comments and my how I felt that I expressed to you last week was not meant to intentionally hurt anybody specific. Like that was not my intent. My intent was to understand what was happening because I didn't. And I still don't. There's some things, okay, yes. I got called out on a couple things and that's definitely going to make me see things in a different light. But there are a few things where I'm just like uh, yeah, no. No, nobody's changing my mind, or nor do I want somebody to change my well, yes, I want somebody to change my mind because if I'm being wrong, I want somebody to tell me that I'm wrong. Not their opinion of being wrong, but giving me the facts of why I'm wrong. Um, with that said, I'm just gonna touch on a couple things. And then we're gonna move on to making what I said earlier, making others feel better at your expense or making sure that you're making people happy at your expense type of thing. Um, one of the biggest things I got was the COVID remarks or comments as to why I was so upset that my parents and my daughter was not able to see her cousin, i.e. grandson. um, Listen, I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Oh, and the backlash of why my gym is open and how I'm exposed to COVID daily. That was another part of the COVID part of it. So I am tested very, very often. My mother is tested weekly. We've always come up negative, knock on wood. So the fact that my brother and his wife and son came to see my parents and myself frequently throughout the last couple months, and they weren't worried about it. That's the whole issue of what's happening with me right now, and why my parents were not able to, obviously come in contact with my nephew a couple weeks ago or last weekend, 2 weeks ago. So the The thing is that I make sure that I'm safe. I make sure that my daughter's safe. I would never, ever, ever put her in jeopardy of anything. In the moment, if I do or should I test positive for COVID, I will pull myself from the gym. I will pull my daughter from daycare. I will pull my daughter from my parents or anybody else that she has contact with, as well as myself, to make sure that the health of other people are definitely ensued. So that part of it, I do have an argument too. The other parts, it's objective. I'm trying to be objective in everything. But I appreciate all of the feedback that I got. And I love you all dearly, regardless of whatever side or if you haven't chosen sides and, that type of stuff you guys are on. But I just, I need you all to know that I take COVID very, very seriously. It's not something I'm just throwing my hands up at and being like, yeah, whatever. Um, Obviously, I have my business to protect, I have my daughter to protect, and I have my mom and dad to protect. And I would never, ever, ever put any of them in jeopardy for anything that's happening right now. So, comments on that. You guys are obviously free. Yes, tell me how you feel about that. I get it. But the ones that are coming at me, as in I'm putting everybody in jeopardy, um, that I have to be closed, that I shouldn't be open, that, that I guess society calls them Karens and Chads today. Listen, nobody has ever, ever, ever made you walk into a gym. Nobody has ever made you come into my gym and been like, hey, I'm here. I have to be here. You know what I mean? So if you have issues with me being open as a business, that's your own issue. You can stay at home. You can do what you need to do at home. You can do you, honey, do whatever it is. But my point is that don't tell me that I have to or should close my business, or that I'm not being protective of others, or whatever the issue may be, because it's not going to lay well with me, because I'm doing everything to protect every single member that I have. I'm doing everything I can to protect my family, my mom and dad, as well as my daughter. So, um come at me with everything that you want, but as in the COVID thing, like I just said, I'm gonna lash back. So just so you all know that. Um, which leads me into living your life to make sure that other people are happy, or your family's happy, your friends are happy. Listen, you guys, my entire life I've lived to make sure the happiness of everybody is instilled in them. I worried so much growing up whether or not somebody was mad at me, whether or not I was doing the right thing, whether or not I was going to have friends the next day. High school, I worried constantly. I worried constantly. College, a little bit less, but I still worried. And it is the most painful thing I think anybody can go through. Um, Living their life for somebody else to make sure somebody else is happy. And it's taken me a long time to understand that, to realize that, to get why I even live that life. But I did. I did. My entire existence was making sure people were happy and okay and not mad at me. That was my biggest thing. Like, are you mad at me? Are you mad at me? And my friends, my close friends, my ex-boyfriends, my ex-husbands, whatever it is, it may be. Um, Sorry, I'm getting some chats in here right now. Um, that was one of my biggest things, and one of my biggest fear right now is to live in fear, I guess you could say, or to live in guilt. And I know one of the two most wasted emotions is, fear and guilt. Like, there's no reason to live in guilt. There's no reason to live in fear. If you go on and you conquer everything that you want to do, just do it, regardless of what people are going to think and or say about you. That is, I think, that is one of the biggest things in society right now is how are people going to view me? Are they going to be okay with that? Especially family members. The embarrassment of family members for what you may or may not do, the embarrassment of family members for what you may or may not say. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to have to hold back from what you really, really, truly feel. Granted, you don't want to hurt anybody. I think the intentional hurt with people speaking their mind or speaking their word is not there if they have a heart. Which in my case, like my intentions were not to hurt anybody. It was more to make or ask. Actually, it was more advice wise. Maybe I was being selfish on finding out whether or not I should actually be feeling the way that I was feeling with regards to what's going on with my brother right now. But I had a good friend text me the other day after everything happened, and because I'm sad. My brother, like I said before, was my is my best friend. I love him dearly, unfortunately, I don't know if our relationship will ever get back to the way it was. I think my relationship with his wife and his wife's family is pretty much diminished, which I understand. I'm not saying that it's unfair or that it shouldn't happen or but my main concern is my brother and my nephew, obviously. And so I had a friend reach out to me just after last week's podcast had aired, and he had told me, "Live your life for you. You've already wasted so much time doing the right thing. Fu Screw that." Sorry, I'm live. I can't cuss. Screw that. Be you, be loud, and be offensive. Um, that seriously dug into my heart big time. I'm not one to wanna stay silenced. I don't really come off or chat about things that don't have merit, and I'm tired of just trying to make everybody else happy. I'm tired of trying to make sure everybody else is taken care of. It's in my nature, it's in my heart to make sure my loved ones and my friends, which are my loved ones, are taken care of and that they're okay and that they're happy. But I'm not living my life for them anymore. The difference is growing up until probably a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I made sure everyone was okay before I made sure I was okay, which definitely will take its toll on you as a person. But now I've reached the point where if you're embarrassed of me, if you don't want to be my friend, if you think that I've gone too far, if you think that I've said too much, if you think that I God, I gotta stop saying shit, shoot, sorry, shoot. I don't mean to keep saying you guys. I'm sorry, but and sorry, I should stop being sorry as well. But my biggest thing is that you guys, I've learned to, you know what, it's about me and my daughter right now, and nobody's gonna take that from me. I will never ever let anybody in to try and take that from me and try and tell me how I need to be, how I should be, and how I should be how people want to perceive me. Listen, I love I know I just said it, but I love my life right now. I have so many amazing things happening right now, and my gym is beyond succeeding right now, especially in the crap that's going on right now, which the Karens and the Chads, we'll get to you in a second. But no one at this point is going to tell me what I need or not need to do. No one is going to stop me from what I need or not need to do. I'm just like living life to the extent that I possibly can right now and realizing and taking back all of the time that I wasted on making sure everybody else was happy. I cannot stress enough to all of you right now. Stop making everybody else happy. Stop trying to make everybody else happy because when you're not going to, it's not going to happen. You are not going to make everybody happy. Just put it in your head right now. Everybody is going to have something to say about you not wanting to make them happy. And it's just life. I think it's just something that we have to grow into. We have to grow into being comfortable with who we are. So my biggest wish and my biggest hope is to make sure that all of you just become happy. You become happy with with your life right now, what's happening right now, with the people that are surrounding you right now. I know our world right now is in a lot of turmoil and grief, and regardless of what side you are on, we're both sides are hurting tremendously, heart wise, brain wise. I don't know if that made any sense, but whatever, but my biggest takeaway from this, you guys, is to make sure that you just are one to yourself, and whatever dreams, whatever goals, whatever beliefs that you have, that you just stand by them, and you stay strong with what you're going through and realize that you're always going to have that backlash. You're always going to have people not on your side. And I just pray and hope that, you guys all decide to stand up for yourselves one day and realize that you're okay the way you are. You're okay the way that you think. And the judgment is not, it shouldn't, it is there. I guess it is there, as we all know, but it shouldn't be there. So, with that said, this is going to be a short podcast today. So I love y'all dearly. Thank you for listening to me and my story. And in regards to just staying true to yourself, please make sure that it's something that's on your priority list and that you love yourself more than anything and anybody. All right. XO, XO, I will see you guys soon. Bye.